Hello everyone, welcome to the channel uLearn Education Online. In the previous video, we have seen how to measure the open loop gain and what is the circuit that is used, and also we have seen the procedure that is required in order to calculate the open loop gain. Now, in today's video, we are going to see the other two parameters of op-amp measurements, that is, one is an input bias current and second one is an input offset current. As we know that the input bias current is nothing but the average of the currents that are entering into the two input terminals of op-amp. Okay, since the op-amp has having two terminals, one is the inverting terminal and other one is a non-inverting terminal, the currents entering at the two terminals average that should be taken, and that value is considered as an input bias current of an op-amp. Whereas the input offset current is represented as the difference of the two bias currents that are entering through the two input op-amp terminals. So for the input bias current, IB1 is the one base bias current that entering into inverting terminal, and IB2 is the one base current that entering into non-inverting terminal. So the sum of the average of these two currents can be considered as an input bias current, whereas the input offset current is measured as the difference of the two currents, that is IB1 minus IB2. And here this modulus is always indicated in order to get the positive value. Now let us see what is the circuit that is used in order to calculate this input bias current and the input offset current. So this is the circuit that is used in order to measure the bias current value and the input offset current value. As we seen here, this IB1 is the bias current that entering into the non-inverting terminal of op-amp, and IB2 is the second bias current that entering into the inverting terminal of an op-amp. Now let us see what is the procedure that is involved in order to calculate or in order to measure the bias current value and the input offset current value. Now let us see the step 1. Now here in step 1, what we have to do is we have to short the terminals A and B. Since this A and B is shorted, which means that the A value is fixed at the ground value, that is voltage at the potential A is 0. In that case, we have to calculate what is the value of V0. This V0 is nothing but, since the AB terminals are shorted, so this V0 is produced due to the bias current value, that is IB1 into some impedance that is connected across the output side. Therefore, from this equation we can find the value IB1 as V0 1 by R. Now similarly, short the terminals C and D. If the C and D terminals are shorted, the voltage at C terminal is equal to the output voltage. In that case, we have to measure what is the output voltage due to the bias current value, that is IB2. Now let us write V02 as IB2 into R. Finally, we can find the IB2 value as V02 by R. Since we find out the IB1 value and next IB2 value, simply substitute in the basic formulas, that is, for the bias current, IB is average of IB1 and IB2, and for the input offset current, its value is difference of IB1 and IB2. This is the theoretical procedure that is used in order to calculate the bias current and the input offset voltage. Thank you.